welcome to another City Update. I'm Deborah Cedillo-Dugan. We are at Tapatio Resort here in Phoenix talking about drowning prevention. In the city of Phoenix alone, since January 1st, there have been 11 incidents of drowning. Way too many. Here to talk a little bit about drowning prevention is paramedic engineer Kelly Lieberman. It's great seeing you, Kelly.
Thank you, Deb. Pleasure to see you.
So what are we doing here today? We're doing a mock demonstration.
Yeah, we wanted to do a mock drowning scenario and really give people a perspective of what a drowning looks like. You know, so many times if the media shows up, it's maybe just showing a part of the pool fence or the pool, but really now they have something of how a drowning plays out. Where were the parents? What were they doing? Just distracted for just a minute or so, and a bystander happened to see that child floating in a shadow. And sure enough, pulled him out, and he actually did everything right. Pointed to someone, directed them to call 911.
Call 911!
Started doing CPR, learning how to do it. He didn't know how, but the alarm was guiding him in the right direction. And then firefighters got here as soon as possible, loaded that patient up and get him over to the hospital ASAP.
Talk about the basic ABCs of drowning prevention, so what parents should know, and children, quite frankly, as well.
So the ABCs of water safety, you have appropriate supervision. And what I mean by appropriate is that, can that parent swim? If a parent cannot swim, they should not be watching their child around the water. Or a grandparent for that matter. Are they capable of helping someone in a drowning situation? So appropriate supervision. Also, not distracted. Parents are getting distracted. Cell phones, tablets, reading, alcohol consumption, grilling, yard work, you name it. They have to be watching, actively watching children around the water, so appropriate supervision. And then there's barriers. We talked about pool fences, and we'll have our specialists talk a lot about that. But pool fences and different barriers of protection, locks and latches on doors within your home to even prevent the children from getting out of the house. So audible alarms, there's even bracelets kids can wear that if it gets wet, an alarm goes off in the house. So there's so many different types of barriers of protection. And then classes. It's important that people learn how to swim, not just adults, but children as well. And we'll have Becky Hewlett from City of Phoenix Aquatics that can really bring you up to speed on all that. And then you're going to have all the devices. I brought a couple devices out here. Life jacket, Coast Guard approved life jacket. Puddle jumper, again, another Coast Guard approved. These are great for young kids. So are these. There's never been a reported drowning for anyone wearing a properly fitted life jacket.
Makes sense.
If you don't know how to swim, wear one of these. These aren't just for lakes and rivers and all that stuff. Wear them around the pool. Let's prevent drownings from happening.
And floaties, not so much. I mean, they have to be Coast Guard approved, as you said.
I'm glad you brought that up. Floaties are toys. They are toys. They're plastic. If they fill with air, they're a toy. Simple way to put it. These are not a toy. These are actually Coast Guard approved. These things are awesome. I love it. I had one for my daughter. It was great, able to move around and use her legs and start learning how to swim. So I certainly recommend someone getting these.
Thanks again, Kelly, for joining us for a couple moments. We're now going to go and speak to Fire Inspector Brian Scholl, who's going to talk about pool barriers and abatement. Here with Fire Inspector Brian Scholl. It's great seeing you, Brian.
Good to see you. How are you?
I'm doing great. So tell me, what is pool barrier abatement?
Well, we actually have a pool abatement program. And that means that if you live in an apartment complex or a multifamily housing complex, you actually call the fire department if you think your pool is unsafe. If the fence isn't up to code, if it's rusting, if the gates don't work, you actually call the alarm room, which is the Phoenix Fire Department's non-emergency number, and we'll actually dispatch a fire inspector out there to come look at the pool to make sure it's safe. If it's not safe, then we will abate the hazard either by closing the pool or making temporary repairs.
What if it's your neighbor and you notice a neighbor that the pool's maybe a little murky and maybe they don't have the lock that's broken, but there's a lot of neighborhood kids around?
If there's a lot of neighborhoods, same thing, you can call the Phoenix Fire Department non-emergency number and we'll send a fire inspector out there to look at it.
Okay, so now let's talk about actually what should be around a pool. The barrier, a lock, kind of the do's and don'ts for maybe somebody who's just moving here to the valley.
So if you just move here to the valley, you need a pool fence around your pool. It's got to be at least 5 feet tall. It's got to have a gate, and the gate has to be self-closing, self-latching. So once you let that gate go, it's going to automatically close. And it's got to be able to swing away from the pool, so a little kid can't actually fall onto the gate and push the gate open. got to worry about underneath the pool fence. 2 inches is the minimum depth if you have dirt, or 4 inches if you have concrete. Because we've had kids that actually have been able to dig underneath the pool fence and get into there. Another thing to worry about is make sure that latch for that pool gate is 54 inches high. So a little kid can't jump up there and actually unlatch the gate and then get inside. Another thing that we talk about all the time is get stuff away from the pool gate and the pool fence. No chairs, no tables, nothing that a kid can climb on in order to get into the pools. Because especially now it's getting really hot, kids love to get into that water, and they'll use anything they can to try to get over that pool fence.
I can see that happening, just dragging a chair or a toy or something in and just doing everything they can to get over. But talk also about drowning in a bucket at 2 inches of water, and that's all you need.
They're saying 2 inches of water. So if you have a bucket of water that's sitting around, or if you're giving your child a bath, you have to keep your eye on your child at all times. So get rid of those buckets of water. When you're giving your kid a bath, do never, never, never leave your kid alone in a bathtub. All that kind of stuff is very, very important for prevent drowning.
Last question, does the fire department, can they come and just check to see if your pool is up to code and make sure everything's copacetic in your area?
Yeah, so that once again, they can call the Phoenix Fire Department's non-emergency number and have someone come by and look at their pool fence, and we'll come out there and look at the pool fence for them.
Okay, thanks again, Brian, for your
Thank you.
time. We're here with Becky Hewlett. She is the aquatic supervisor for the city of Phoenix, and we're going to talk swim lessons. Becky, it's that time of year.
Good to see you.
So let's talk about swim lessons and how can people register to get on board?
We have swimming lessons available at our pools. Beginning registration is April 28th, 6:30 p.m. You can register online or any of the City of Phoenix community centers. And from there on out, we continue registration until classes fill.
So let's talk about who can register. I mean, babies, children, adults, because I'm sure it's never too late to learn how to swim, or never too early.
Absolutely. We will teach people how to swim from the ages of 6-month-old all the way to adults. So any age, we have something for everybody. It's important for everybody to learn how to swim. And as statistics show us, kids that don't learn how to swim by 9 years old most likely won't learn how to swim until they become an adult and make that decision on their own. So it's important to get those kids in young, teach them how to swim, and for adults to really learn how to swim, especially if they have kids, because you need to be able to watch your kids around the water.
Oh, absolutely. And these swim classes are throughout Phoenix at the community pools and the centers. What is it? They're 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks? How long are the swim classes, and what are they being taught? I mean, obviously learn how to swim, but give us an overview of a class.
Absolutely. So swim lessons are typically 2 weeks long. We have 8 classes. They're 35 minutes each, and that session is only $15. And thanks to SRP and the Diamondbacks, we're able to discount some of those classes to only $3. And in those beginning learn how to swim classes, in the very young stage of learning how to swim, 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, the ones they're really little, we're putting in the water. The main focus is to get them to be able to jump in the pool, surface, turn around, and actually get out. So it's really more survival at the very beginning stages of learning how to swim. Once they have that accomplished, they can float on their back. Then we actually go into teaching the different strokes and the kicking and all the other things, the arm strokes and how to actually breathe and swim freestyle. But most importantly, we really want to teach those, if you fall in the water, how do you come to the surface? How do you turn over onto your back and get out of the pool on your own?
Yeah, I love that, the survivor skills, and then have some fun.
Yes.
Then you take the next class for the advanced skills. Becky, it's great seeing you. Thank you for spending a couple minutes with us.
Absolutely, thank you.
Please, we do not want to have any drownings here in the city of Phoenix. Be safe around water. Watch your children around water. For City Update, I'm Deborah Cedillo Dugan.